So yeah, once I got to the era where I had to hide the game, the so-called early history, which basically is from my first experience with the game in Idaho all the way up until we shipped out my brother's computer to him when he was stationed. That's what I call the early history, and that's where it kind of ends. Because my brother went into the service in the, right before the fall of 2000, and for the first like 3, 4, 5 months, we had his computer still at the house, and then we still used it as the family computer. But then there came a time where, you know, he finally got stationed somewhere. It was at, it was Fort Drum was his first station. And I'm trying to remember, it must have been 2001. Or maybe it was when he was stationed at A school we gave him his computer. Probably when he was stationed at A school. That makes a little more sense to me. But yeah, we sent his computer off to him, and that was it. I didn't play any games on the computer from that point. Oh, god damn it, I didn't want to pick that up. That was a mistake. I somehow, like, slipped into it. Fuck. But yeah, he had his computer, you know, we gave it to him, and that was just it. You know, that was the end of gaming on the computer for me, because there was no way we didn't have a computer at all. At all. No computer. And, you know, it was for a good 5, 6 months or so. I mean, it felt like 8 years as a kid. Or, you know, I was actually a pre-adolescent at that point, but you know what I mean. It just felt like an eternity. And, you know, I still had Doom 2. I still had the disc and everything, but, you know, there was no way for me to actually play it. So, you know, what was I to do? What was a child to do? Yeah, let's wake up this piece of mofo. And then I like to jam myself on the door track here so I don't get locked in, so I can watch at my own leisure. But that's just how it went. I've said that like 1,000 times now. That's the new okay. But anyway, yeah, no computer. We wouldn't get a computer till about, gosh, when was it? It was sometime from maybe late early to mid to maybe even late 2001. Honestly, I do not remember anymore, and none of my family members really remember either. So it's difficult for me to remember that. But once we got a new computer, it was a Windows 2000 machine. And I remember that eventually it came to the point where I was like, okay, let's put Doom on it, because if I don't put Doom on something immediately, you know, my sole purpose in life is not fulfilled. Where the hell is this dude going? He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Okay. Our numbers are thinning out here. Oh shit, okay, yeah. It's getting dangerous. It sucks out there! Fucking roll! Alright. Come on. There you go. Sneaking the game on there was just one of those things I always did. If Doom wasn't on a computer that we owned, I was just like, no, this is incorrect, stop. But I remember I put the game on there, I had snuck it on there, and I would just play it kind of randomly. I would mostly play it when my dad wasn't home. And then when he would come home, he'd be like, what did you do all day? And I was like, oh, I was just on the computer writing. I would tell him that I was like writing stories, because I really did write stories, but, you know, that's not what I was actually doing most of the time. Which one do we want to do next? I guess I can do this room. A little bit imps. Damn, that was a good BFG shot. I got most of them. Usually the BFG's like, nah, and it kills like 2 of them. But playing the game on that computer was not as optimal because it was Windows 2000. It was a newer machine, so it didn't have a legitimate OPL 3 compatible sound card, so I had to use just regular ass Windows synthesizer for the music, and that was a bit of a bummer because, you know, I loved the OPL music. That's one of my favorite things about the game. No, oh my god, you're blocking it. What a little douchebag. So I want to be able to use this invincibility in the Pain Elemental room as well. And having to play with like the regular ass Windows synth was not my favorite, but it was doable at least. I mean, I could tolerate it long enough to have a good time with the game. And I think it was around this time, well actually no, not really. My experience with mods wouldn't really fully blossom until the laptop days, which we'll get to eventually, but for now I'm still trying to cover the history chronologically up to that point. I do remember, as I continued to use that computer sneakily, I eventually discovered source ports. It was... Actually, that was before me getting Doom Collector's Edition. I know I talked about Doom Collector's Edition in the last LP, but there came a point where I think I was done sneaking the game on the computer. Maybe my dad already knew I had snuck the game on there. I don't really remember anymore. But there was a point where I got Doom Collector's Edition, and basically this was, you know, my dad had fully acknowledged that I was okay to play it. And, you know, I got that, and in the next video I'll tell you why that went south, although you guys probably already remember from the last one, but I don't know.